कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जनाः प्रहसितं प्रिय प्रेमवीक्षणं विहरणं च ते ध्यानमङ्गलं रहसि संविदो या हृदि स्पृशः कुहकनो मनः क्षोभयन्ति हि चलसि यद्व्रजा चारयन् पशु नलिनसुन्दरं नाथ ते पदं शिलतृणाङ्कुरैः सीदतीति नः कलिलतां मनः कान्तगच्छति दिनपरीक्षये नीलकुन्तलैः वनरुहाननं बिभ्रदावृतं धनरजस्मलं दर्शयन् मुहुः मनसि न स्मरं वीरयच्छसि प्रणतकामदं पद्मजार्चितं धरणिमण्डनं ध्येयमापदि चरणपङ्कजं शन्तमं च ते रमणनस्तनेष्वर्पयादिहन् सुरतवर्धनं शोकनाशनं स्वरितवेणुना सुष्ठुचुम्बितम् इतररागविस्मारणं नृणां पितरवीरनः ते धरामृतम् अटति यद्भवानह्निकाननं त्रुटिर्युगायते त्वामपश्यतां कुटिलकुन्तलं श्रीमुखं च ते जडौदीक्षतां पक्ष्मकृदृशां पतिसुतान्वय भ्रातृबान्धवान् अतिविलङ्घ्यते यच्युतागताः गतिविदस्तवो गीतमोहिताः हितवयोषितः कस्त्यजेन्निशि रहसि संविदं हृच्छयोदयं प्रहसिताननं प्रेमवीक्षणं बृहदुरश्रियो वीक्षधाम ते मुहुरतिस्पृहा मुह्यते वनः व्रजवनौकसां व्यक्तिरङ्गते वृजिनहन्त्र्यलं विश्वमङ्गलं यजमनार्चनः त्वत्स्पृहात्मनां स्वजनहृद्रुजां यन्निषूदनम्. You can repeat this. यत्ते सुजातचरणाम्बुरुहं स्तनेषु यत्ते सुजातचरणाम्बुरुहं स्तनेषु भीताशनैः प्रियदधीमहि कर्कशेषु भीताशनैः प्रियदधीमहि कर्कशेषु तेनाटवीमटसि तत् व्यथतेन किं स्वित् तेनाटवीमटसि तत् व्यथतेन किं स्वित् कूर्पादिभिर्भ्रमति धीर्भवदायुषां नः कूर्पादिभिर्भ्रमति धीर्भवदायुषां नः श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 सर्ववेदान्त सिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Bhagwan Shankaracharya said, out of all the ingredients which are needed for moksha, bhakti is the most important one. Moksha karana samagrayam bhakti reva gariyasi. But he said, there are two definitions of bhakti. First one is swaswarupa anusandhanam, inquiring into one's own essential nature. Not only inquiring, but also abiding in it. Anusandhanam means to own up. So owning up one's own nature as pure consciousness and staying there, that intense desire to be abiding in the truth is called bhakti. That is the first definition. Second definition was swatma tattva anusandhanam. Swatma referred to jiva, tattva referred to Bhagavan. Keeping individual conditioning, wanting to become one with the Lord. On the strength of bhavana, on the strength of extreme, supreme love for Bhagavan, that is the second definition of bhakti. First definition was knowledge, second was upasana. So when we hear stories of great saints, one very popular name is Andal. The last part of her life was this: meditating on the Lord in such a way that you become one with the Lord. That is Swatma Tattva Anusandhanam. Goswami Tulsidas says, Jagata Sovata Sarana Tumhari. He doesn't wake up and sleep in this world. He wakes up and sleeps in the Lord. Yesterday we were seeing in 13th chapter Bhagavad Gita, one commentator he says, an obedient servant of a good king is ever happy. It looks like a very simple statement, but he says this is the bhavana of bhakta with his Bhagavan. If king is good, servant is disobedient, doesn't follow the rules, that combination will not work. He'll be unhappy. Servant is obedient, king is not good. Then also he doesn't know, I'm doing so many things whether I will get what I want. But if the combination is obedient servant of a good king, he says, whatever I want will be given to me. My responsibility is to make sure that I am being obedient to the Lord. That is Swa Atma Tattva Anusandhanam. Second definition of bhakti, which is upasana. Now the first one requires little more thinking. Are you all ready for little more thinking? It's a beautiful topic though. Anusandhanam, let us look at that word first. It is made up of anu, sam plus dha. Dha means to own up. Dharan karne ka naam, that is the meaning of the root word dha. Sam dha means own up very well. Sam, when you add the prefix before it, what it means is owning up very well. Anu, sam, dha, when you say, that anu prefix when you add, after being pointed out certain thing in certain way, when I try to own it up very well, that is called as anusandhanam. Anu, sam, dha. In Gita Dhyanam we say this. Tvam anusandadhami bhagavat gite bhavadveshini. It's a beautiful prayer sadhaka makes to Mother Bhagavad Gita. He says, I will not only listen to you, natu kevalam shrunomi. Neither will I only keep talking about you, natu kevalam vadami. But tvam anusandadhami. I will strive to own up the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. What is owning up? If somebody speaks several hours on ahimsa, listens to several hours of talks on ahimsa, and goes and shouts as his neighbor. Shrunomi is there, vadami is there. What is not there? Anusandhanam is not there. That is what it means. I have heard about the truth, I have spoken about the truth. Now let me try to abide in the truth. That desire to abide is called as bhakti. Swaswarupa Anusandhanam. Now this Anusandhanam, when you say, what it means is, we are to own up the message of Vedanta. The message of entire Veda is Vedanta. And the message of Vedanta is Mahavakya, the great identity revealing statement. So if I have to do Swaswarupa Anusandhanam, what should I understand first? Mahavakya. Because reflection in Vedanta is on Mahavakya only. When you say do Vedanta Vichara, so many things are said in Vedanta, but essential thing is Mahavakya. Now what does Mahavakya tell us? One example is Tat Tvam Asi. There are several Mahavakyas. This is one Mahavakya. Tat refers to God. Tvam refers to Jiva, you. What is Tat Tvam Asi? You are God. If you want to make it sweeter, you can say, Vedanta is telling us, Mahavakya is telling us, you are divine. Swami Vivekananda ji put it differently. He said, to manifest this divinity is the purpose of human birth. But when you hear it for the first time, you should feel uncomfortable. I hope all of you are feeling. When you hear the statement, you are God, I start wondering, where is God and where am I? My knowledge is limited knowledge. Few things I can remember. God's knowledge is infinite knowledge. I am little knowing, God is all knowing. My strength is little, God's strength is infinite. So where are you matching both of us? Where are you comparing both of us and saying, you are God? This is all part of Swaswarupa Anusandhanam. If we have to think about Vedanta, we have to think about Mahavakya. And Mahavakya tells us, you are God. Now, when it doesn't make sense literally, even in our colloquial conversation, we take implied meaning. So, whenever you understand a statement, there are two meanings possible of that statement. One meaning is called literal meaning. Second meaning is called implied meaning. For example, if I tell you, this person who dropped me in the morning lives on the beach. Now, lives on the beach, how will you understand? Not that his house is in the middle of the waves. In our mind, we will understand he lives on the shore of the beach. What is the direct meaning of the statement? He lives on the beach. His house is in the water. But because that is not feasible, we say he lives on the shore of the beach. That is implied meaning. I'll give one more example. If I say, I had a coconut this morning. Real coconut, huh? Not the harmless one, real one. I had a coconut this morning. Now, what did you understand? I had coconut water this morning. How many things are included in the word coconut? There is shell, there is a fiber, there is a kernel, and there is sweet water. Although I said I had coconut, you left out the shell, left out the fiber. Kernel, if it is soft, you can eat it. But main thing is the water. This is called implied meaning. Literal meaning refers to something. Implied meaning refers to something within it. We have to look deeper. All of you are with me on this? So the statement, you are God, literally will not make sense. What does that mean? If I am unable to understand a statement literally, I have to check whether it has an implied meaning. Now the statement Tat Tvam Asi, take the word Tvam first. We are very familiar with it. You. When they say Tvam, what comes to our mind whenever they say you? How do I understand that you to be? It will start with body. Start from where we will identify with. We will say, I am this body. Then when we study Vedanta, they say, you don't have gross body alone, you also have something called a subtle body. Predominantly it is mind and intellect. Subtle body. Then they say the seed of gross body and causal body is, seed of gross body and subtle body is causal body. Third thing is there. Then you have pure consciousness. We have to include pure consciousness. When you say you, it should include three bodies and pure consciousness. If I only stop at gross body, I still need to think about literal meaning of the word Tvam. Not implied meaning yet, pure consciousness. I still need to think about literal meaning of the word Tvam. The Sanskrit word for literal meaning is vāchyārtha. vāchyārtha. Vāchyārtha means what is literal meaning of that word. Implied meaning is lakshyārtha. Lakshyārtha. So of the word tvam, what is the vāchyārtha? Gross body, subtle body, causal body, and consciousness. So if I have to own up the meaning of tvam pada vāchyārtha, what does it mean? Whenever I think of gross body, I have to include consciousness first. Before I go to the implied meaning, if I'm first to understand what is the literal meaning, whenever I think about thoughts, I have to think about thought plus consciousness. Body plus consciousness. That is called as vāchyārtha anusandhanam. Lakshyārtha, the implied meaning of the word tvam is pure consciousness. Just like the implied meaning of the word coconut was coconut water, you left out the conditionings. Here also when we say tvam, the implied meaning of the tvam is pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya minus conditionings. But main point is we have to pay attention to the word anusandhanam. Before I jump to lakshyārtha, first I have to understand vāchyārtha. And in vāchyārtha, if I never saw consciousness, then I will make consciousness as another object. Meaning, before I go to pure consciousness, I have to first understand conditioned consciousness. In one anecdote, Gurudev writes, he tells Taponji Maharaj, if consciousness is without conditioning, why are we discussing so much about conditioning? Maya, Hiranyagarbha, so many conditionings we are discussing. Taponji Maharaj tells him, get me some water. And Gurudev gets him in a glass. Taponji Maharaj says, I asked you for water, not the glass. And Gurudev says, got the answer. If you want consciousness, first we have to understand conditioned consciousness. So if I have to do Swaswarupa Anusandhanam, first I have to do it at vāchyārtha level. What is vāchyārtha again? Which meaning? Implied meaning. Literal meaning. Literal meaning. What is literal meaning of the word tvam? 3 sharira, conditioning, plus consciousness. What is lakshyārtha of the word tvam? Pure consciousness. Now come to the word tat. Tat refers to God. What is the literal meaning of the word tat? If at individual level you had individual gross body, individual subtle body, individual causal body, what will you have at total level? Total gross, total subtle, and the total causal body, along with pure consciousness. These things put together is called as vāchyārtha of tat. Literal meaning of the word tat. Vāchyārtha. Vāchyārtha. When you take conditioning plus consciousness, all of it together is called as vāchyārtha, literal meaning. Just like here also you had 3 bodies and consciousness, together was called vāchyārtha. Only consciousness, lakshyārtha. Lakshyārtha means implied meaning, vāchyārtha means direct meaning, literal meaning. In Tatpada also, you have these conditionings and pure consciousness. Total gross conditioning, total subtle conditioning, and total causal conditioning, plus consciousness. Everything together is called vāchyārtha. Pure consciousness alone is tatpada lakshyārtha, implied meaning. Pure consciousness minus conditioning. Now look at the beauty. If I have to understand tatpada lakshyārtha, implied meaning of the word tat, that God is nothing but consciousness, what should I understand first? Direct meaning of the word tat. Whenever I see creation, there I should see creation plus consciousness. If I am seeing only creation, then I am yet to understand what is the literal meaning of the word tat. Implied meaning comes much later. I had shared this before also. In Vedanta, you don't have written exam. 15 years you study Vedanta and go to Guru. Say, Guru, do you think I understood Vedanta? Do I graduate from your Gurukula? He says, come with me. Takes you outside, shows you a tree, and asks you, what do you see? If you say tree, finish. Tapo bhikshina papanam. Start Tattvabodha again. First I should see tree plus consciousness. Then I can appreciate through Mahavakya, when it is at Tattvamasi, it is that same consciousness from which individual conditionings have come. It is the same consciousness which is substratum of totality. So I am that consciousness which is illumining thoughts. I am that consciousness which is substratum of creation. But before I jump to that pure consciousness, first I have to see consciousness in conditioning. Means I have to appreciate conditioned consciousness first. When they do bhandara and serve food, they will not serve only rice, dal. They will add ram after it. Chawal ram, roti ram, dal ram. You know what it means? It is Chaitanya conditioned by this upadhi of roti. Consciousness conditioned by rice. Consciousness conditioned by dal. This is what we were discussing on Shivaratri day. If I see only conditioning, that is Ratri. If I see consciousness amidst conditionings, that is awakening in Shivaratri. Because Bhagavan Shiva is of the nature of consciousness. Take another example that we all are very familiar with. Hiranyakashipu and Prahaladji. Hiranyakashipu sees only pillar. And he asks Prahaladji, what do you see? Is your God there in this pillar also? Prahaladji sees pillar and God. So what is our drishti? It should be like Prahaladji. Wherever we see conditioning, there we should see conditioned consciousness. To see pillar as pillar, tree as tree, nothing great. We don't need any study, no Vedanta is needed. But to see that and consciousness, that is where tatpada vāchyārtha, literal meaning of the word tat, literal meaning of God, that is what I am reflecting on. Mahavakya comes and tells us, you are God. So vāchyārtha I cannot equate, because our conditionings are way different. What was the lakshyārtha of the word you? Pure consciousness. Lakshyārtha of the word God? That same consciousness. It is not another consciousness. This is where they say, discovering oneself is discovering God. Discovering my true nature is discovering Bhagavan. Isha darshanam swatmarupatah. Isha darshanam. vision of the Lord is Swatma Rupatah, by discovering what is our true nature. But appreciate the journey. We cannot jump to this directly. Don't call Bhagwan as Nirguna Nirakara in step 1. Nirguna Nirakara form of the Lord is step 2. What is the first step? In Saguna, in conditioning, seeing consciousness. There is a nice anecdote I had read of Swami Ramtirtha Ji. He had come same time as Swami Vivekananda Ji, little bit earlier than Swami Ji actually. And both have met several times. His uniqueness was he would always speak in third person. He would say, Rama is having a talk today, Rama did this, Rama did that. And it is said, President Roosevelt was the US president at that time. They got to meet in a place, I think Shasta Spring. Both of them met. And President asks him, I have heard people telling that you have seen God. Can you bring him here? I also want to see. Ramtirtha Ji says, I can bring him, but you have to give me your address. Permanent address. Because God will come there. The President says, White House. That's where I live. He says, no, 4 years before somebody else was there. Few years after somebody else might be there. Then he gives his previous home address. Swamiji says, somebody else lived there before you bought that house. You are not there all through. And somebody else might come and live there also. You can imagine where this conversation must have gone. If you come to body level, really speaking, this is not our true identity. This is our local address. In this particular janma, we are in this body. Previous janma, some other body. If somebody has further janma, some other body. You say, if God wants to meet you in next janma, how will he find you? Tell me that address. If you say, I am the mind, what is mind? Different thoughts coming and going. He says, which thought are you? Tell me one thought that you are. If we start inquiring, we'll realize our real address is consciousness. And Swami Ramtirtha Ji says, if you find your true address, you will find God's address. Isha Darshanam Swatma Rupatah. That is this bhakti Shankaracharya is talking about. Swaswarupa Anusandhanam Bhakti Hiti Abhidhiyate. Swaswarupa Anusandhanam. Second one was Swatma Tattva Anusandhanam. Now 33rd verse, we had started it. Qualifications of a Guru. You see. Should we lead and repeat? Okay. Shrotriyo vrujino kamahato yo brahmavittamah brahmanyuparatah shantah nirindhana ivanalah ahetukadaya sindhuh bandhuranamatam satam. Shrotriyah avrajinah we had seen. Who is a Shrotriya? Somebody who knows the spirit of Shastra. Not only letter of Shastra, but spirit of Shastra. We had seen the example of Bhagwan Shankaracharya Ji and Kabir Das Ji. Same term, how both of them explain. Transcending the transcendental. It sounds musical, but it doesn't communicate clearly. So parat paraha, one para refers to Maya, another refers to consciousness which transcends Maya. So who is a Shrotriya? One who has the vocabulary to communicate precisely to us. That is the first quality. Second is avrajinaha, one who is sinless. Because Guru has to remove sinful tendencies from the student. If he himself has sinful tendencies, then it won't be possible to remove it from the student. That is why second one is given, avrajinaha. Third one is akama hataha. Hataha means killed. Kama hataha means killed by desire. Akama hataha, not killed by desire. Akama hataha means not smitten by desire. What is generally killed by desire? Knowledge. So Guru is the one whose knowledge is not killed by desire. The moment desire comes, whatever knowledge anybody has, everything is taken away. Taittiriya Upanishad says, if a person is Shrotriya and Akamahataha, that person's happiness is 100 times of Brahmaji. Gradation of happiness is given. Huh? Young, healthy, enthusiastic, rich. Young, healthy, enthusiastic, resourceful. That is considered as 1 unit of happiness. And in that you have multifold gradation. Gandharva Loka, little bit higher Loka, Brahmaji's happiness. So a person who is abiding in the truth without desires, Taittiriya Upanishad Rishi says his happiness is much greater than Brahmaji. That is this akamahataha. Next one is Brahmavittamaha. Brahmavittama means best amongst knower of Brahman. Best amongst knower of Brahman. In Kathopanishad we saw this. Nachiketa says, O Yamacharya, you are like this. There is one mantra which comes, Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Look at Yamacharya's confidence. He says, if a teacher like Yamacharya teaches, there is no way student will not get liberation. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. That is Brahmavittamaha. And Brahmani uparata. Next qualification is Brahmani uparata. Uparati means withdrawn. So his mind is withdrawn in the truth. Brahmani uparata. Next quarter is what? Shanto nirindhana ivanalaha. You have to rearrange it a little bit. Nirindhana anala iva shantaha. Nirindhana anala iva shantaha. Shantaha means peaceful. Analaha means fire. Indhana means fuel. Nirindhana means fire without a fuel. So calm and peaceful, like a fire without fuel. This is how Jivan Mukta's indication is given. I don't know where they found that example. When you turn off a fan, that fan goes on for some time. Means after knowledge takes place, that Jivan Mukta's prarabdha continues to keep that sharira. But it is not fueled by desires. That is this one. Nirindhana ivanalaha. Ahetuka daya sindhu. Sindhu means ocean. Daya means compassion. So daya sindhu means ocean of compassion. But why is he compassionate? Does he want something from us? Is he wanting some rating? Generally they have it, right? After the class is done, professor will send a form. Or is he writing some book, bestseller, he wants everybody to take? He says no. Ahetuka. Ahetuka means causeless. The one who is compassionate without any cause. Causeless compassion means Guru doesn't have anything to gain from the disciple. That is the beauty of this quality, ahetuka daya sindhu. Last one is bandhuhu anamatam satam. Anamatam means one who has surrendered. To those who have surrendered, Guru is their friend. Guru becomes their well-wisher. Here one commentator he writes, pay attention to whose role is what. To surrender is our responsibility. Whether to be friendly or not is Guru's choice. He says, don't flip it around. Any Guru for that matter, even if it's a professor, student should always have reverence towards the Guru. In our culture, knowledge will flow only when there is reverence. Friendliness is never encouraged from the side of the student. And you should read Gurudev's elaboration of this. He says, modern disciple will dash into the room and say, "Hi, Guru." Next verse will elaborate that. What are the qualities of a student? But here it is said, Anamatam satam, Guru becomes their well-wisher and friend. This is what we chant in Guru Stotram. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. Tvameva mata means he feels at some times Guru is very loving like a mother. And sometimes he is very strict like father. Tvameva mata pita cha. Two different words, not chapita. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Tvameva bandhuhu, you are my relative. And he says, you are my best friend. Sakha tvameva. Sometimes he feels you are knowledge. Tvameva vidya. And you are my wealth. Dravinam tvameva. He says, how many things should I count? Tvameva sarvam. Mama deva deva. That is the bhavana we should have. Different qualifications of the Guru. Now, having gone to a teacher, what should a student do? It's a very beautiful verse. Tamaradhya gurum bhaktya prahvah prashraya sevanaihi prasannam tamanuprapya pruchhe jnatavyamaatmanah. Tamaradhya gurum bhaktya prahvah prashraya sevanaihi prasannam tamanuprapya pruchhe jnatavyamaatmanah. Tam gurum bhaktya aradhya. Having had fondness towards that Guru, for whom we also have reverence. Chandrasekhar Bharati Swamiji, he translates it this way. What is tam gurum bhaktya aradhya? He says, pujyeshu anuragah. Our mind will go towards the teaching when there is reverence and fondness. This is very beautifully given in Sri Rama Gita. Lakshmanji is the student, Bhagwan Rama is the teacher. He says, Sura Nara Muni Sacharaachara Sai, मैं पूछूं निज प्रभु की नाई. First quarter is the reverence for Bhagwan Rama. He says, you are not only Dasharatha Putra, but you are Lord of the universe. But at the same time, you are Nija Prabhu also. You are my Lord. Therefore, I am asking this question. Now look at the second line. What was the first one? Tamaradhya gurum bhaktya. Tam gurum bhaktya aradhya. Second line is Tam prasannam anuprapya. Having pleased the Guru, pruchet. don't just stay there. Ask. Pruchet. What should I ask? Don't ask random things. Jnatavyam atmanaha. Ask about sadhana. Ask about self-inquiry. What is the nature of self? Get clarity about that topic having gone to a teacher. Now somebody might say, okay Bhagwan, I understood I should please the teacher. But with what does the teacher get pleased? What gift can I take? In Upanishad they said faggot sticks, samit pani. What can I take? He said take these three things. First one is prahvaha. Look at the first line, second quarter. Prahvaha. Second word is prashraya. Third word is seva. Prahva, prashraya, seva. What does that mean? Prahva means respectful body language. Prahvaha means respectful body language. That whenever we are in front of the Guru, our body language should be very, very alert. In Bhagavad Gita commentary, Madhusudana Saraswati ji says, sit like a fly on the wall. Don't even say hum or tvam. Means the point is, if I have to be alert about my body language, that itself is sadhana. So respectful body language is prahvaha. Second one is prashraya. Prashraya means speaking with humility. Prashraya means that. Speaking with humility. So mainly at speech level. Prahva was at body level, body language. The way we stand, the way we walk. All of that is prahva. Prashraya is at speech level. Have you all heard the word vinaya? What does vinaya mean? Humble. Have you heard the word vinita? Vinita also has similar meaning. But see the beauty of Sanskritam. The root word there is ni. Ni means to lead. Vinaya means one who is ready to be led. So his speech reflects this understanding that I am ready to learn, I am ready to be led. Vinita also means that. One to whom Guru can say, you come with me. That is called as prashraya. There was one student, very good student, lived in a Gurukula, had lot of Guru Bhakti. One day he went to sleep at night. Midnight he heard a knock on the door. Got a little afraid. Who is knocking midnight? But again he went back to sleep. After some time he felt somebody sitting next to him. Slowly opened his eyes. Something cold was there here. Somebody is holding a sword on his neck. A little afraid. But he saw who is holding it. Go to say it was his Guru with a sword on his neck. He went back to sleep. And that Guru, he made a small slit on his neck and with a leaf collected the blood drops and went. Actually, a snake was on its way to bite this disciple. Some karma of the past was bringing it. And Guru was Tejasvi. He saw it, he stopped it. But snake said, I cannot go back until I taste the blood of this person. Guru said, I'll figure out something. You wait here, I'll get it for you. And he goes, gets that, snake goes away. Next day morning, this disciple is doing things as though nothing has happened. Went and did his, whatever bath he had to take in Gangaji, did all that, came back, did his daily sadhanas. Now, Guru was feeling from inside, I hope he noticed something. So I asked him, what happened yesterday? Didn't you feel afraid? He said, I felt little afraid when somebody knocked. I also felt afraid when I saw this sword. But when I saw you holding this sword, I said, nothing wrong can happen to me. This is the quality of prashraya. One who is ready to be led. For that student, knowledge works very quickly. And this point we should always remember, the title of Guru is given by the disciple. Title of Guru is not given by Guru himself. If you look at it differently, the title of Guru is bringing finitude in the Guru. Because Guru is abiding in pure consciousness. This title of Guru is a bondage. But from our standpoint, we give that title. So prashraya means that, one who is ready to be led. This point we had seen earlier also, right? Somebody comes to Ramana Maharshi and says, please accept me as your disciple. Please become my Guru. And Ramana Maharshi says, Guru is from your eyes, not mine. That quest to be led is prashraya. Then the last one is seva. Three things which please a Guru. One is body language, second one is speech, third is seva. Navada Bhakti, third devotion is this. Guru pada pankaja seva, tisari bhagati aman, chauthi bhagati mama guna gana, kariya kapata tajigan. Guru pada pankaja seva, serving the Guru, but Goswamiji wants us, we should serve minus pride. Tisari bhagati aman. What is the ego that can come in seva? अगर मैं नहीं होता, Guru का क्या होता? If I was not there, how would Guru manage? He should be grateful that I am there. He said that is the subtle ego that creeps in whenever we serve. So see how Goswamiji balances. Guru pada pankaja seva is needed, but it is considered seva only when it is amana. We should feel he could have chosen anybody for his work, but I am grateful that he chose me. With that bhavana when we serve, that becomes seva. So all three put together, prahva, prashraya, seva, that is something which pleases the Guru. Having found the Guru pleased, one should definitely ask. But ask at the right time. That's why that making sure that Guru is pleased is added. Children know this very well. When to ask from mother and father. You should not ask when they are angry. Whenever everything is prasannam, then you ask, you will get. Prahva prashraya sevanaihi. And what to ask? He says, ask about nature of self. Okay. If you have anything to share, this is a good time. Next verse is a different, very poetic verse that we will take up in the next session. You can come either side. I don't see the mic there. If you can put the mic. Sohamji.
Sohamji. Yes, thank you. I just want to say thank you for explaining in Sanskrit. I'm seeing a lot of connections when you are teaching. I noticed, I've heard the word Vinaya also in terms of the practices ascetics should follow in Buddhism. And I think it means the same as you explained, right?
Yes.
To be led. Thank you.
In fact, in every culture, they will have this Guru Bhakti. You take any culture, they will always have this as the qualification of the student. Good. Please come here, that way we all can hear you. No, this is getting recorded, so it's necessary that you speak here. Yes. Is the mic on?
Namaskar, Sohamji. We hear of this Mahavakya Tvam very, very often, but we get the explanation for Tat and Tvam. Somehow the word Asi gets dropped off. Okay, so how do I connect and how do I interpret that word?
Asi is just putting both together. The word are, you are God, that are refers to Asi. It is not separate word. I mean, it is not something different that we need to analyze.
The reason I'm asking is, in Tamil, Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi says, Asi padat uruvanavan.
What does it mean?
Asi padam is the word Asi. Uruvanavan means it takes the form of Asi. So, I'm not sure what is meant by that. So that's the reason I'm asking why, how I would use it beyond. And again, I'm going back to the implied meaning of that Asi.
One way to look at it from a sadhana standpoint is, whenever we worship Bhagwan, we don't take it as Tattvamasi. There are different ways in which that Vakya is opened. Tena Tvamasi. You are from God. You belong to God. So the primary thing is the relationship. One way to look at it is, whatever sadhana we have done in that way, it will eventually evolve into Asipada Pradhana. If I meditate upon God as I belong to Him, one day He will bring this knowledge and say, you are me. That is how I understood. I don't know how Bhagwan must have elaborated. Yes. Last one, then we'll pause.
So you mentioned in the Tat literal meaning there is both Maya and pure consciousness.
In Tat there is Maya, subtle body, gross body, and pure consciousness.
So is Maya and consciousness, is there any relationship between them, or they are both simultaneously original, or is one a source of the other, anything like that?
Good. Vedanta says consciousness is real and Maya is an appearance. So Maya is not a physical thing. That is why elaborate description is there just of the word Maya. Not knowing my true nature, that itself is Maya. Also called as avidya.
But the force that creates the sense of Maya or avidya, whatever, is that original, or is it caused by something, or is it?
No, ignorance will not have another cause. Ignorance is the cause.
So Maya Shakti is original.
Yes.
It is not created by infinite consciousness.
No, consciousness doesn't create anything. The very fact we are seeing this world To give us an explanation, it is said there is Maya Shakti. In that way. Okay, look at Tattvabodha. How was it said? Brahmashraya Maya Asti. There is this Maya which is rooted in Brahma. And from that Maya, this whole creation has come. Means Brahman plus Maya, creation emerges. Means in this chart, when you see pure consciousness and everything else, right? This V represents Maya in a way. V represents Maya. But we should remember the status of everything below this, including Maya, and status of consciousness is not same degree. Consciousness is like the rope, and everything from Maya onwards is the snake. We are discussing the snake not to give it reality. So we are discussing Maya not to prove Maya.
So should we have reverence towards Maya Shakti also?
To an extent that we can be pulled in Sattva Guna. Maya Shakti will have 3 gunas, right? So if I am in Tamas, I have to come to Rajas, from Rajas to Sattva. This is the Devi's power. Udbhava sthiti samhara karinim, klesha harinim. If I have Rajoguna and Tamoguna, lot of conflicts in life. Who is Sita Devi? One who will remove klesha from my life by giving Sattva Guna. So Divine Mother is worshipped in that way.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.